Hey, friends! The 1970s, and our old friend, the pseudoscience documentary. This time, we're talking about one of the biggest products of that genre, 1978's The Late Great Planet Earth, based on a best-selling book of the same name. What's it about? Well, it's about the end of the world. More specifically, what the Book of Revelations and other Bible prophecies says about how the world will end, and trying to tie that to events happening in the then modern world. When the book came out in 1970, it became a smash hit. At the time it was written and the time in which the movie came out, everything seemed to be going wrong in the world. There was political upheaval, Vietnam, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, famine, conflict in the Middle East, the threat of nuclear annihilation, men getting perms, disco, and lots of stuff, none of which made any sense. And that's what The Late Great Planet Earth and books like it and the pseudoscience movies were all about. Trying to make sense of and understanding what was going on. Reading the tea leaves, as it were, to divine some hidden, underlying truth to it all. But sometimes the tea leaves are just soggy bits of tea, and they don't mean a thing other than someone is trying to cash in by fear-mongering. The world is coming to an end, they'd say, and you better be ready. Judgment Day is upon us. Cosmic catastrophes are imminent. Supernatural forces are trying to break free to destroy humanity. Aliens will return and take over. Our only salvation would be in solving ancient mysteries, trying to unlock the secrets of ancient civilizations and forge a new path forward for mankind. Or be left to perish because you didn't have a pyramid suspended from the ceiling over your bed. Or you didn't have enough crystals to focus your astral delta wave energy or whatever. The Late Great Planet Earth is essentially made up of 3 parts. First, we have some live-action reenactments of the ancient Israelites running around out in the desert. Second, the legendary Orson Welles is hosting on camera in several segments at Vasquez Rocks. That's where Captain Kirk fought the Gorn. Welles is also narrating throughout. Also on camera is the purveyor of the whole thing, Hal Lindsey, the author of the book, who is sort of a co-host. Actually, he was just the face of the book, while it was ghost-written by someone else, Carol C. Carlson. Also, I gotta ask, how many pockets you think you need on that shirt there, man, huh? The epaulets aren't enough for you? There are also snippets from other people being interviewed, many of whom were real experts and scientists. Most of what they say appears to be judiciously cherry-picked out of longer conversations we don't get to hear. And third, we have stock footage of wars and calamities, lots of it. In fact, The Late Great Planet Earth probably consists of about 70% stock footage. The book was a bestseller. The movie didn't flop exactly, but it only made a modest profit compared to the other movies of its ilk from around the same time. That's because The Late Great Planet Earth was late to the party. By 1978, well, there was certainly still some interest in it. Most people were already moving on from the pseudoscience stuff since it never seemed to deliver on its promises. By the early 1980s, it was replaced by other things. Until the History Channel went all to hell. I mean, seriously, it's like all UFOs and stuff. One snippet of an interview in the movie is with John Gribbin. Gribbin was pushing his own pseudoscience theory, the so-called Jupiter effect. He wrote a book under that title in 1974. It was long known that as they orbit the sun, the planets occasionally all line up. And Gribbin claimed that the next time it happened, in 1982 or so, this would destabilize the surface of the sun and lead to the end of the world. Newsflash, that didn't happen. The pseudoscience documentary based on his book was The Jupiter Menace. Ironically, when it was released in 1982, it was one of the last of the pseudoscience documentaries. To his credit, Gribbin, a real scientist, recanted and admitted he was hella wrong and regretted pushing the theory. That didn't stop him from writing 2 more books about the Jupiter effect so he could cash in, though. I'd love to review that one for you. I have a copy of the Jupiter Menace on VHS, but it's in rough shape, and the only other version I've found is on YouTube, and it's just as bad. So, how about it? Is the late great Planet Earth worth a watch today? Well, it is a fascinating time capsule, and we have Orson Welles narrating, and that's worth the price of admission alone. When he reads scripture passages, it gives you goosebumps. The vintage stock footage is interesting, and it's surprising they were able to weave a narrative out of it. If you're into these type of pseudoscience documentaries, it's fun to watch. They can be a real hoot. This one is okay. I guess I'd give the late great Planet Earth a half-hearted 2 paws. It's better than some, and has Orson Welles. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.